Recorded Books and RB Digital present Cosmos, Possible Worlds by Druyan. Narrated by Druyan with Janice Ontiveros.
For Sarah, Zoe, Nora, and Helena, as you set sail for the stars. Prologue. As Carl Sagan wrote in The Demon-Haunted World, I was a child in a time of hope. I wanted to be a scientist from my earliest school days. The crystallizing moment came when I first caught on that the stars are mighty suns. When it first dawned on me how staggeringly far away they must be to appear as mere points of light in the sky. I'm not sure I even knew the meaning of the word science then, but I wanted somehow to immerse myself in all that grandeur. I was gripped by the splendor of the universe, transfixed by the prospect of understanding how things really work, of helping to uncover deep mysteries, of exploring new worlds, maybe even literally. It has been my good fortune to have had that dream in part fulfilled. For me, the romance of science remains as appealing and new as it was on that day, more than half a century ago, when I was shown the wonders of the 1939 World's Fair. It was a rainy night in Queens when the future became a place, one you could visit. A downpour at sunset in Flushing Meadows couldn't discourage the 200,000 people who had gathered there for the opening ceremony of the 1939 New York World's Fair, whose theme was the world of tomorrow. Before it closed in the fall of 1940, 45 million visitors would travel to this Art Deco land of promise. One of them was a 5-year-old boy whose parents were so poor that they had brought their own brown bag lunch. The 20 cents for a dish of chocolate ice cream topped with fluffy whipped cream was out of their reach, as were the blue and orange Bakelite flashlights and key rings that the boy craved. The apple from home would have to do for dessert. Despite his tantrums, the child came away empty-handed, but with the coordinates for his life trajectory set. At the playground in the Hall of Electrical Living, he was allowed to operate an infrared musical light beam, which enchanted him. He had fallen in love with the place called the future and grasped that the only way to get there was science. Dreams are maps. The aspirations of this possible world were as egalitarian as they were scientific. In fact, one of its model communities was known as Democracy. There were no slums, but there were television sets, computers, and a robot. It was there for the first time. People saw these things that would change their lives. But on this last night of April, they had come to hear the greatest scientific genius since Isaac Newton say a few words. Albert Einstein was the opening act for a dramatic production number that would choreograph forces of nature as if they were the synchronized swimmers in the water ballet at the fair's aquacade. Einstein was to give brief opening remarks and flip the switch that would illuminate the fair. The spectacle promised to be the largest flash of man-made light in technical history, visible for a radius of 40 miles. Oh, wow, but not as mind-blowing as the source of this sudden, unprecedented brilliance. Across the East River in Manhattan, Professor W.H. Barton, Jr. of the Hayden Planetarium of the American Museum of Natural History was calibrating instruments that would grab mysterious lightning bolts from unknown parts of the universe and turn them into light, seizing power from the cosmos just as Prometheus stole fire from the gods. A few decades earlier, a scientist named Victor Hess had discovered that the universe was reaching out to touch our...
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.